You found your center. Now, can you keep it while you step fully into your new life? Why healing in isolation isn't enough, and how nervous system capacity changes the way you meet life. The part of healing nobody talks about. There comes a point when solitude has done its work. The noise quieted. You stopped asking everyone else who you should be. You learn how to hear yourself again. You found your center, a place you can call home. Maybe not perfectly, but undeniably. And then life asks the next question. Can you remain there with other people while inhabiting your life fully? Can you stay connected to yourself while someone disagrees with you? Can you love without disappearing? Can you hear someone else's disappointment without immediately abandoning your truth? Can you receive support without converting it into debt? Can you let another person be uncomfortable without rushing to rescue them from their own experience? Can you feel grief without becoming it? Can intimacy deepen without handing someone else responsibility for your center? Can you receive more life without losing yourself? Because eventually the cave has a door, and you have to walk through it. Solitude was necessary and was part of the journey, but it was never the destination. From I don't need anyone to I don't have to leave myself while in the world. This may be one of the most important corrections on the path. At first, sovereignty can sound like I don't need anyone. That can be an important stage, especially after years of overgiving, merging, people-pleasing, rescuing, or outsourcing your worth. But sovereignty eventually matures. It becomes, I can be with you without leaving myself. Those are not the same thing. One is separation, the other is relationship without self-abandonment. And that's where healing becomes relational. Not, I can feel centered alone in my meditation room, but can I stay present when your nervous system is activated? Can I hear your pain without absorbing it? Can I let your reaction belong to you without absorbing it? Can I remain open without becoming porous and losing my energetic integrity? Can I disagree without making either of us wrong? Can I stay loving without becoming available for self-betrayal? Now we're testing something real. Science meets spirit. Human nervous systems are deeply relational. Voice, facial expression, proximity, touch, pace, and perceived safety all affect physiological state. We influence one another constantly. A calm presence can help another person settle. A reactive room can pull everyone toward great activation. That doesn't erase individual responsibility. It reminds us that regulation was never designed to happen only in isolation. And Spirit has expressed the same principle through another language for thousands of years. Verse 1 Corinthians 12:12. For as the body is one, and hath many members, distinct parts, all necessary and related, untangled. Perhaps wholeness was never sameness. Perhaps it was right relationship between differentiated parts. Maybe individuation was never about becoming an island. Maybe you went inward so you could return to the whole without losing yourself inside it. The proof that you found your center is not that no one can affect you. It is that relationships no longer require you to disappear. Finish this sentence. I know I am changing because in relationships I now. Maybe you speak sooner, rescue less, receive more, leave when necessary, remain when intimacy becomes real, set boundaries without punishment, listen without absorbing. Whatever came up first, write it down. That's evidence your nervous system needs to regulate. Human beings are not designed to regulate in isolation. Social cues, voice, expression, proximity, predictability, touch can influence autonomic state. The broader science supports the idea that regulation is deeply relational. even though specific polyvagal theory claims remain debated. "No man is an island," said John Donne. "We are distinct, but never entirely separate. Healing is not becoming untouchable. It is becoming capable of contact without disappearing, without threatening our own energetic integrity." The next level isn't more control. Here is where another illusion falls apart. Once we learn nervous system regulation, we can become obsessed with staying regulated, calm, centered, untouched, unaffected. But that's just another performance. Life moves. Healthy systems are in motion too. You are supposed to mobilize. You are supposed to feel anger when something violates a boundary. It's natural. You are supposed to activate when action is required. You are supposed to grieve, celebrate, get excited, respond. Healing is not becoming flat. The goal isn't permanent calm. The goal is flexibility. You are now dancing with life, flowing, expanding from your center. Can you rise and return? Can you mobilize without living permanently at war? Can you feel deeply without becoming identical to the feeling? Can you leave your center and still know the quickest road back home? That's much more useful definition of regulation, and it is learned through repetition and presence. The autonomic nervous system, movement, not morality. Your autonomic nervous system helps regulate many processes that happen largely outside conscious control, including heart rate, digestion, blood pressure, and aspects of arousal. Two major branches matter here. The sympathetic nervous system mobilizes. Energy becomes immediately available, attention can narrow and focus. Your body prepares for action, fight, flight, freeze, effort, movement, chase, force, control. This is not bad. You need sympathetic activation to perform, exercise, create, speak, protect yourself, respond to imminent danger, and act courageously. The parasympathetic system supports processes associated with recovery, digestion, rest, and restoration. The vagus nerve is one of its major communication pathways. Again, one path is not enlightened and the other is not primitive. The intelligence is in the ability to shift between both consciously. Act when action is required, settle when the moment has passed. Rise, act, and return. This is the capacity to live fully without losing oneself. Heart rate variability reflects changing intervals between heartbeats and is widely studied as one window into autonomic regulation and adaptability. A healthy heart is not perfectly uniform. It adapts, responds, changes with demand. Even physiology reminds us, health is not rigidity. Health contains rhythms. Vagal tone without the mystification. You may have heard the term vagal tone. Broadly, researchers use it to describe aspects of parasympathetic influence associated with the vagus nerve, especially in relation to cardiac regulation. One indirect measure often studied is heart rate variability, or HRV, the variation in time between heartbeats. And here's the part I love. A healthy heart is not mechanically identical from beat to beat. There is variation, adaptation, responsiveness, rhythm. Studies of slow and resonance breathing show measurable changes in HRV and autonomic regulation during practice. So even physiologically, health isn't rigidity. Health has rhythm. And that gives us another way to understand the path. You were never meant to become motionless. You were learning how to move without losing yourself. Regulation is not the absence of movement. It is the capacity to move as who you truly are without losing the way home. Now, a scientific anchor. Slow voluntary breathing has been shown across studies to increase vagally mediated HRV during practice and support autonomic regulation. So breath is not magic, it is participation. A place where conscious intention can meet automatic physiology. Practice the vagal return. Let's stop talking about the nervous system for a moment and give it an experience. I'm intentionally not calling this a vagal nerve reset. Your nervous system is not a machine you reboot, but breathing is one of the unusual physiological processes that is both automatic and voluntarily influenceable. Controlled breathing studies, including Excel, emphasized cyclic sighing, have shown reductions in physiological arousal and improvements in mood. So try this. If it feels comfortable, inhale gently through the nose, then take a small second sip of air at the top. Now take a longer exhale, slowly through the mouth. Long, easy, no forcing again. One inhale, small second inhale, longer exhale, one more, then stop controlling the breath. Let the body breathe itself and notice, not did I do it right, notice what changed, what softened, what tightened, jaw, shoulders, chest, belly, heartbeat, mental speed. Maybe nothing. That's information too. This is body literacy, not performance. The still fire mirror. What changes when you stop commanding and controlling your body and start communicating with it? Capacity building and expansion changes what you can receive. And this is where something much bigger began changing for me personally. For a long time, I understood intellectually that we participate with reality. I could talk about interconnectedness, consciousness, the universe as relational rather than mechanical. I understood the concepts and sometimes I lived through glimpses of this reality. But understanding that idea and receiving what it means were two different things. There came a point when the realization stopped being philosophical. It began reorganizing how I lived. I saw that living fully wasn't standing outside life, analyzing it, managing it, trying to anticipate danger and every possible outcome. It was inhabiting it wholeheartedly, participating, receiving, allowing reality to arrive as it actually is, in its beauty, its paradox, its vastness, its uncertainty, its magnificence, and being able to hold it all without shrinking back or losing myself in it. I can be with anyone without leaving myself. We all just walking each other home. Quote from Ram Dass. But walking each other home does not mean carrying one another there. It means companionship without possession, presence without rescue, love without self-erasure. And that was overwhelming at first to understand, because a system accustomed to shrinking reality into manageable pieces suddenly had to hold more beauty, more love, more complexity, more grief, more mystery, more possibility. I realized that expansion wasn't simply seeing more, it was developing the capacity to receive more of what I was seeing, making room for reality to land, not as a spectator, but as a full participant, not isolated, belonging, not standing outside life, inside it. And once that recognition becomes embodied, there are consequences. Perception changes, your choices change, your body changes its relationship with the environment, your mind stops organizing exclusively around defense, your vibrational baseline stabilizes in the new desired state into peace and spaciousness. Spirit stops feeling like an abstract concept and becomes relationship. Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final, said Rainer Maria Rilke. Notice what he includes, not only terror, but also beauty. Some of us learned how to survive pain long before we learned how to survive and receive magnificence. Expansion requires rooms for both. Scriptures say, "For in him we live and move and have our being." Acts 17:28. Live, move, be. Not watch, not manage from the edge, not think about. Participate. Neuroplasticity reminds us that experience continues shaping the brain across adulthood. Historically, this matters, but it's not absolute. And that gives us one of the most hopeful truths in this work. The past may have trained your expectations. It does not own your current and expanding capacity. From a hostile universe to a participatory one. At first, many of us live as though existence itself is hostile. We brace, predict, control, prepare, scan for the next shoe to drop. We don't simply meet today. We meet today through everything yesterday taught us to expect from it. We try to manage life before life happens, and eventually life begins to feel like something happening to us. We believe that the world is outside, we are inside. Somewhere between us, a wall, a veil. But when survival is no longer consuming the entire bandwidth, the wall starts becoming more transparent. We notice timing, relationship patterns, seasons, our own rhythms, the way one conversation changes another, the way an inner shift alters what becomes visible externally, the way our choices change what becomes possible next. And in spiritual language, perhaps we begin moving more consciously with rhythms that were holding us all along, day and night, during expansion and contraction, activity and restoration, birth and dissolution, inhale and exhale. Nothing in nature is permanently expanded. Nothing living stays contracted forever either. Life moves, everything is in motion. So perhaps coherence isn't permanent peace. Perhaps coherence is the ability to move with life without abandoning your center. Meister Eckhart said, "The eye through which I see God is the same eye through which God sees me." Mystical language has always challenged the assumption that consciousness stands outside reality, observing it from a distance. At some point, the subject-object wall begins becoming less absolute. Not because individuality disappears, because belonging becomes more obvious. When the universe stops feeling like an adversary, something changes when you're no longer filtering every encounter through the expectation of threat. Not because difficult things stop happening, not because the universe suddenly becomes obligated to fulfill your preferences, not because every coincidence becomes a sign. Discernment stays, agency stays, reality stays real. But your relationship with reality changes. It moves from "life is happening to me" to "I must learn how to control life," and then to "I am learning to participate in life as it is, as part of it, not separate," like the drop in the ocean that realizes it is the ocean. As above, so below, as within, so without. We realize that life is moving through me and I am moving within it. I am dancing and flowing within it. That's a different consciousness. You stop approaching existence as though it were fundamentally against you, but responsive and benevolent. And you begin noticing support you couldn't receive before. The right person arrives, a door opens, then another. A delay protects you from something you couldn't yet see. A conversation rearranges the next year of your life. A tree stops you long enough to hear yourself think. A body sensation tells the truth before language arrives. Not proof of cosmic favoritism, but a more real relationship with it. You discover that life happens for you, not to you. but through you and as you. Perhaps trust is not believing that nothing difficult will happen. Perhaps trust is discovering that you no longer have to meet life alone. You trust in the underlying intelligence of life, which has always held you in its womb, guided, protected, and loved you. You have always belonged to life itself. This is part of recognizing your true nature, both divine and human. Walt Whitman said, "I sing the body electric." Not consciousness escaping embodiment, consciousness expressed through it. The body no longer becomes the obstacle to awakening, it becomes one of its instruments. And that is a beautiful bridge between nervous system work and embodied spirituality. From shrinking to natural expansion. Survival shrinks the perceptual fields. It has to. Threats demand focus, maybe becoming invisible, maybe making oneself small to attract less attention from danger. But when the organism no longer needs to devote so much energy to defense, capacity to expand returns. You have the space and presence to hold more, see more, feel more, receive more of all that life has to offer, from joy to grief, without becoming the emotion or losing yourself, your center. And slowly, what once felt overwhelming starts feeling natural, more lively, more you without all the stories and programs. You don't become more spiritual, you become more available, less defended against life, less divided from your own experience, less convinced by separation and scarcity, more rooted and therefore more open. Expansion stops meaning escape. It becomes belonging. Belonging to your body, belonging in relationship, belonging to earth, belonging to life itself. You become the miracle you've been seeking, the love you've been longing for. The 2% practice. Make the future inhabitable. So here's the practical bridge. Choose an area where expansion still feels unfamiliar, like receiving, love, visibility, trust, creativity, rest, success, belonging, and ask, what does my old system predict will happen if I allow more of this? Name the prediction. Then ask, what would 2% more participation look like today? Not a breakthrough, not a performance, 2%. Receive the compliment without deflecting. Let someone help you without immediately repaying. Stay silent for 30 seconds longer than you urge to fill the space. Tell one truth daily without explaining it. Sit outside and allow beauty to affect you. Let yourself enjoy something in the moment without immediately preparing for its ending or loss. Then land. Feel your feet. Look around. Notice what actually happened. Did reality match the old prediction? Let the body receive the answer. Let yourself register it. That's new information, evidence that the new state is safe. You are teaching your body, your nervous system, a new way to inhabit life. Safe and still lively. That's how the new becomes inhabitable. Now complete this sentence. Life feels different now because I finally received more. It could be love, truth, support, joy, complexity, stillness, more of yourself. Write the first word that arrives. Don't perform the answer. Recognize it and comment below. The deeper reframe. Maybe transformation isn't ultimately about becoming someone different. Maybe it is the gradual reorganization of every layer of you around what is more deeply true, essential, rooted. The mind understands, the heart recognizes, the nervous system learns, the body receives evidence, relationships test the integration. Life expands capacity. And eventually, what once required courage and repetition becomes ordinary, natural, more you. The boundary stops feeling revolutionary. Rest stops requiring permission. Love stops automatically predicting loss. Visibility stops feeling like exposure. Peace stops looking suspicious. Truth no longer needs rehearsal, and the universe no longer feels like something outside you, waiting to be controlled. You belong here, not perfectly, not permanently comfortable, but fully. Final still fire mirror. Don't ask only how much have I healed. Ask how much more life can I receive without abandoning myself. That's a very different measurement, and perhaps a more honest one. The doorway into field literacy. Because once defense quiets, perception widens. And once perception widens, you begin noticing something extraordinary. Every experience was always happening across more than one dimension. It was physical, emotional, mental, relational, symbolic, archetypal, and spiritual. Not 7 separate worlds, 7 ways the same reality may be speaking. And that changes the question. To not simply ask, what am I perceiving? But from which level am I interpreting what I perceive? Because openness without discernment becomes projection. Sensitivity without grounding becomes confusion. Synchronicity without discrimination can become superstition. But perception anchored in the center becomes accurate literacy. And that's where we're going next. The 7 dimensions of human experience. How to read reality without losing your center. We've explored many of these dimensions separately. Next time, we bring the whole map together, not to escape reality, but to become capable of reading more of it and inhabiting more of it, consciously, as the multidimensional beings we are. In closing, you went inward, not to disappear from life, to return capable of participating in it fully, without the heavy load of your old stories and outdated programs. You found your center, not to hide there, to root and move from it, to love from it, to create from it, to organize your field around it, to meet your reality from it. Until sovereignty no longer means I stand alone, it means I belong to myself deeply enough to belong to life fully without losing myself in the process. And perhaps this is the shift underneath all the others. From life happening to me, to life happening with me, through me, and eventually as me. As a living expression of the whole, I was never separate from, not a spectator watching life pass you by, but a full participant in it and of it, not exiled but belonging, not bracing against life or managing it but living it, wholeheartedly as one aligned being. You knew intellectually that reality was participatory. Then you developed enough capacity to receive what participation actually meant. And now you dance. Teilhard de Chardin said, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience." So perhaps the work is not to transcend the human part. It is to inhabit it completely, body, relationship, mystery, choice, love, reality, wholeheartedly. So finally, you belong to yourself deeply enough to belong to life fully. The surface is always the last place transformation arrives. Heal deep, rise sovereign. Still Fire 1111. Welcome home. The frequency calls, the fire rises. Enter at your own shift. Still Fire 1111. And if this resonated with you, subscribe to the series. Download the free ebook Energy is Everything, using science and spirit to master vibrational reality, free for subscribers of Still Fire 1111. And to celebrate my launch on Heal Me, book a free 20-minute discovery call. This is not about becoming someone else. This is about finally allowing who you are to organize your life. Heal deep, rise sovereign. The fire rises and now it radiates. Enter at your own shift. Welcome.